What is up, Seahorse Army? I'm in the mood to fight because this doll gave me a lot of trouble. What's up, Seahorse Army? Welcome back. Today we are doing a collaboration with two of my favorite people. We've got Enzo from the Junk Drawer and we have Rain from Fairy Tale Dolls. Make sure you check out their videos as well. I will have them linked down in the description of this video. They'll also pop up as the suggested videos on the end, the little end card at the end of this one. Together, we are going to each be making a custom doll. We're each going to pick a theme. So this doll is going to have 3 different themes that we have to conform the doll to. And yeah, I tend to talk a lot in most of my videos, but also like especially for my custom doll videos. So why don't we go ahead and move on and just get started into the video. So like I said, when it came to this doll that we are making, in order to keep it interesting, we decided to pick a theme. And we decided that each of us would pick a theme, and we had to make a doll that would match all 3 of those themes. So for me, the theme that I chose was monochromatic. So I thought it would be fun if we made a doll where all of the materials that we use are going to all be within a specific color or color range. So you could go lighter or darker with the color, but you had to stick with your color basically. The theme that Rain picked out was springtime. Now, full confession, when we first started talking about this, it was actually several months ago. And things have just come up and things have been pushed back and stuff like that. Hopefully, this should still be up while it is technically spring on the calendar before summer starts. So it's still within the theme of springtime. But yes, so basically we had to make a monochromatic doll that is themed around spring in some way. And then finally, Enzo picked the theme of a male doll. So if you don't already know, Enzo collects a lot of boy dolls, a lot of Ken dolls. Basically, he is a male doll collector, where I think most doll collectors, especially that you see on YouTube, collect primarily the girl dolls. Like I have primarily girl dolls. So this was going to be really interesting for me. I did have some male dolls in my stock box, but yeah, this was going to be a little bit different from anything I've done before. So basically we have to make a male doll that is monochromatic and it's themed around springtime. So that is the prompt. That's what we're going with. Let's just go ahead and jump right into the customization. Okay, so to start off, my color that I chose for the monochromatic is aqua blue. Basically anything from turquoise to teal, you know, within that range. That is my favorite color. It's really hard to pinpoint my exact color because different sources call it something different depending on whether you're looking at Pantone or if you're looking at, I don't know, nail polish colors or Home Depot paint swatches. I don't know. There's so many different colors. So it's just basically, if you think of that range, that is turquoise, teal, aqua blue, anything in between there, that's the kind of color that I'm going for. So as I mentioned before, I don't have a lot of male dolls in my stock box. In full transparency, when I picked monochromatic, I already kind of knew what color I wanted to do, so I thought I was going to do like a Frankie or maybe like a G3 Gulia or something like that, but that is totally fine. I could have picked a doll that simply had a natural skin tone, but I wanted to get a doll that had a skin tone within the range that I was going for. I didn't have any in my stock box, so I had to go to eBay. There I was able to get this Gil from Monster High G1. His skin tone isn't exactly the color that I want, but I actually like it because it's a little more pale and all of the extra materials that I got are a little bit darker, so I think it'll work really well. So I start off by preparing the doll for customization. I made sure to clean him thoroughly since I did get him secondhand. You don't know how dirty he is, so I washed him with soap and water. Now, Gil doesn't have hair to remove. Instead, he has these like scales and the mohawk fin on top of his head, and that is like a helmet that's glued to the top of his head. So I very carefully had to remove that by heating up the head and just taking my time, and was able to pry that off. Let's see, I've got a flathead screwdriver here. I'm trying to be careful because I don't want to hurt myself. Then I removed his face using pure acetone and some cotton buds. And at this stage, I wasn't 100% sure what I wanted to do for my doll, like what I wanted him to turn into, but I knew I didn't want him to have fins. So I took an X-Acto knife and I actually removed the permanent fins, like the webbing between his fingers, the fin on his back even, and then the ones on his arms and legs. All right, so since I removed all of the fins, there's all these like holes everywhere, and I want to fill them in. So I'm going to use some epoxy sculpt for this. I'm not going to film this just because I don't have my camera on the mount right now, but I'm going to go ahead and mix this up with equal parts, fill in the little like holes and everywhere that there used to be gills, and then smooth it out with some water, and I'll be right back to show you the results. All right, so this is what it looks like with all of the little fin holes filled in. I'm gonna let this dry I'm just gonna let it dry overnight because I don't know how long I need to let it dry for, but I wanna make sure it's fully cured, and then I'll sand it down if I need to, and then I'm gonna paint over it. I have a couple paints here I'm gonna try and mix to match his skin tone. All right, so the epoxy sculpt has completely dried. It's actually been a couple days, so it is 100% dry. I'm actually gonna sand it down just a little bit because I kind of did go over the lines for some of these, and I just wanna make sure it's nice and smooth. So I'm actually gonna use an emery board and one of these little nail buffers to like really smooth it out. This was not intentional, but this is actually in the color for the monochromatic, like the color thing that I chose. But anyway, so I'm gonna sand it down just a little bit. I actually want to cover up all these parts where I cut off the webbing and wherever I used epoxy sculpt with some paint to try and match his body. So let me see if I can mix a color that'll match his skin tone. All right, so the paint is not a perfect match, but at least it's like much less noticeable now. Now that the doll was all prepped and ready to customize, I headed over to Joann's Fabrics to see if I can get some materials or different items that I could use that were in this teal turquoise kind of color range. Okay, so I am currently at Joann's and I'm looking for things in aqua blue that I can possibly use for this doll. All right, okay, I hate this setup. I put my lights away because I'm moving things around since we're gonna be remodeling out here, and the lighting is terrible. So we're just gonna make do. I am going to be rooting the hair. That being said, I'm not gonna use doll hair. Instead, I wanna use some yarn. I have two different kinds. I think this one's just a regular acrylic. Yeah, this is just a regular acrylic yarn. This one is, it's called Nap Time. It is the softest thing I have ever felt, and I feel like you're supposed to use this to make baby blankets. And I kind kind of want to mix the two of these, so I'm gonna mess around with this, see what I can do. Okay, so I've run into a bit of a snag. I was able to get one strand of this type of yarn through with no problem. The end of it did get a little shredded, but it is what it is. The second one is doing this, and I have a feeling I'm gonna run into a lot more of this, and I don't like it. So I have to change up my strategy. Now, since Gil had that weird helmet thing, he didn't have any hair plugs that I was able to use, so I had to create my own. I took my rerouting tool, which is basically an X-Acto knife handle with a sewing needle on the end, and I found that that sharp little prong pokes through doll vinyl heads very easily. And just like that, I have a full head of hair. Okay, so I'm out in the backyard, just because I want to be outside where it's a nice ventilated area since I am working with bleach. I'm also going to be wearing some gloves just for protection. Oh, and obviously I'm wearing something that I don't care if it gets bleach on it. Let me turn the camera down so I can show you what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm just gonna pretty much approximate this, but I'm gonna do like half bleach and half water. That's what I did last time I did like the tie-dye bleaching thing with Samantha. Obviously it's not exact, but we're gonna go with it. All right, so I'm just gonna try putting the clothing in, and I'm gonna try and push it down because I want it to really get coated. Now, I don't know how long to leave this in for, but I'm gonna let it sit here, and if it starts to change color, you know, then that'll kind of give me an idea of how long to wait. Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes, and the only thing that seems to be changing are the yellow pants, which is fine, and I probably just need to leave them in here longer. I don't have any hope for this Ever After High shirt, because it doesn't seem to have changed a single bit. And I've got this outfit. It is from Ever After High as well, but the material is a really thin cotton similar to the pants. So I'm just gonna throw this in here as well, and maybe this one will lighten up. I'm gonna leave this for maybe 30 minutes this time, and I'll be back to check on it a little bit later. All right, it's actually been another 30 minutes, and I don't think we're gonna get any more results than what we're seeing here. So I'm gonna get some more gloves on, I'm gonna go dump this out and rinse them out, and then I'm just gonna try dyeing them and see what color we come up with using the teal dye. All right, so I'm gonna follow the directions on the bottles, and I'm gonna do like a little bit of both, because this is more of a blue color and this is more of a teal, and I want something kind of in between. Let's see if I can get this stuff out of here so I can rinse it off. Pretty much out of these items that I got, the only thing that really dyed to a vibrant enough color that I wanted to use was the Monster High pants. So that started to get me thinking, what could I do that could utilize the pants but not have to like sew a brand new shirt? Around this time is when I started to reconsider the Garden Fairy option. Good morning. Okay, please excuse my appearance. I look terrible. I got up this morning, had breakfast. I've been doing some cleaning and stuff like that, but I wanted to work on another aspect of this doll. I decided to go the route of making this doll into like a garden fairy. I know I've done fairies in the past, so it's kind of within my wheelhouse. So I'm not really like doing too much out of the box here, but you might as well stick to what I know, right? Plus, I thought about this and I got really excited, so I'm gonna do it. Anyway, so I have these like dragonfly, I think they're magnets, so they go on your refrigerator, I'm assuming. And I want to make him, I've never done a fairy with dragonfly wings, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make him into like a dragonfly fairy. So I'm gonna take these wings, and I already found out I can take them off here pretty easily, but I wanna change the color because I only have like a green, or I have like a blue, but it's not the right color blue. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use some nail polish. Really, I just wanted an excuse to use Holo Taco on this doll. Anyway, so I've got a few different nail polishes here that are kind of like in the color range that I'm wanting to do. So I'm just gonna get creative. I'm gonna paint probably over the green part with one of these colors, and then I want to go over with like an iridescent shimmer over the rest of it. I don't know, we'll see. While the wings were drying, I figured I'd get started on the face up. Now by this point, I'm coming down to the wire here where I'm running out of time to get this doll finished. I wanted to kind of take a quicker route to customizing and only do acrylic paint rather than MSC with like the pastels and colored pencils. But I was not happy with how that face up was turning out. I am much more comfortable using the chalk pastels and the colored pencils, especially for tiny details like that. Acrylic paint is really hard to control if you don't have a guide already. So I rinsed that face off and I started it again. All right, so I masked off the hair. I've sprayed with one layer of Mr. Super Clear. Let's get started on the face up. Okay, I'm really happy with this. I'm actually kind of surprised how much I was able to do on just the first layer. So I'm gonna do another layer of Mr. Super Clear to seal in my work, and I will be right back. Once I sealed my work with another layer of MSC, I was really happy with where it was and didn't think I needed to build up any more color or opacity. So I switched right over to acrylic paints. Oh, dang it. I thought I was recording that whole time. Anyway, I painted in the whites of the eyes. When it came to the eyes, I wanted to get a little creative. I wanted him to have kind of like iridescent, sparkly eyes. I decided not to give him a very pronounced pupil and instead add some flaky, like iridescent glitter, so that way he would have kind of more insect-looking eyes. And I want to add some of these like reflective unicorn skin flakies. The only thing is it is nail polish and it dries really fast, so I'm not sure how this is gonna work, but I'm going to try it. I also really wanted to give him freckles, and I was gonna do it with white paint, but I figured it'd be fun if I do individual dots of pieces of glitter. So I just applied them one by one on the end of a really fine paintbrush. And then after lining the eyes, I was really happy with where I was at. So this is when you gotta put the brush down and stop. I sealed the face with another layer of Mr. Super Clear, and then I glossed the eyes with a thick gloss varnish. Moving back to the outfit, this is where I was like, I'm on the last day, I need to get this done. No joke, I literally did this earlier today as I'm recording this. I was looking at pictures of boy fairies or male fairies online, and a lot of them wore pants that were kind of cut off with this like harness thing, and some of them had like arm cuffs or shoulder padding or like really interesting little details here. So I kind of wanted to incorporate some of those features that I saw. I decided to cut the pants off and kind of rough them up at the edges so that way they have a little bit more of a natural worn look. And instead of giving him a shirt, I wanted to try one of those harness things, so I used some ribbon to kind of recreate that. After that, I had several other little bits and bobs and other materials in turquoise, teal, aqua blue, stuff like that, and I just wanted to keep adding to his outfit until I was 100% satisfied. I got these little dragonflies, and although they are kind of like a bronzy color, they have like the turquoise paint on them, so I'm counting it. I'm gonna say that it fits in with the monochromatic theme. Basically, I just want to make a necklace with one of these, so I have to figure out how I'm gonna do that. Okay, Okay, I really like this outfit, but I think he needs another accessory, and I kind of want to give him little arm gauntlets or something. So I've got these little flowers. They're like little foam roses. I'm gonna take apart the petals, and I'm gonna glue them around his wrists to kind of make the little wristbands or the wrist gauntlets. His necklace reminded me that this is supposed to be a fairy, so I gotta figure out his wings. I took apart the dragonfly and I decided to just hot glue the wings to his back for now. I figure I can always attach them another way later on because hot glue peels off easily enough. So now that the wings are attached, I think that's everything. I went ahead and styled his hair off camera, and I'm gonna put him back together, and let's take a look at the final results. Okay, you guys, here he is. Oh my gosh, I love it. I really like how he turned out. I'm actually pleasantly surprised. Look at him. Oh my gosh, I am very happy. I love how iridescent his eyes look. I think it looks so cool for him being a fairy. I don't know. I'm just really happy with his face, especially, and his outfit. Like, his outfit was the thing I was the most stressed over because I can't sew, or I don't enjoy sewing as much or whatever. Like, I wanted it to look good, but I didn't know how I was gonna do it. And I'm actually just really happy with how this turned out. Like, the turn that I took, you know, I pivoted. I almost gave him that little Easter outfit and called it a day because it was all one piece, and it would have been big on him, but I would have been like, well, it's spring themed. But I'm glad I didn't because I really like how this turned out. You know what is really interesting? I think that a lot of my previous custom dolls didn't have a lot of these like smaller details added on, or not as many anyway. I'm glad that I kept adding on and added the gauntlets and added the buttons around the belt line and added the necklace and stuff like that. You know, it really comes down to the little details. The more small details that you add in, the more complete the doll looks. Now, I almost kept going, and it could have very easily gone overboard with this doll, but I got to this point, and I really liked it, so I was like, okay, stop, put the hot glue gun down. Also, you might have noticed I did not give him shoes. He's a fairy. He's gonna fly around. He doesn't need to walk. He doesn't need shoes. But overall, I am very happy with the final result. This is definitely a doll that I'm gonna want to have on display, and I don't know, I'm just really happy to have him in my collection, and just, I don't know, I can't stop looking at him. He's so so sparkly, and just like his face looks so cool. Anyway, I really, really like this, and I can't wait to see what Enzo and Rain did, like how their dolls turned out. I'm actually really excited because we aren't sharing pictures of this beforehand. I have to wait until Friday to see their video, but by the time you see this video, their video is already up. So I will have it linked down in the description of this video. Also at the end on the little like suggested videos that pop up, I'm gonna put each of their videos there as well. So you can click on it. Please go over and watch their videos also. Give them some love. If you started here and this is the first video you watched, comment under their videos and say that you came from my channel, just so they know. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with this. I'm so happy it's done. Now I just gotta start editing, and that's gonna take a while. But I'm not gonna do that today because it is Mother's Day and people are actually starting to arrive. So I'm gonna go visit with family and we're gonna do dinner and all that stuff. I hope you guys had a wonderful Mother's Day if you celebrate it. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. As always, I wanna hear from you. Let me know your thoughts of this doll down in the comment section down below. Also, let me know if you came from either Rain or Enzo's channel. So I'm gonna go for right now, but thank you for watching all the way to the end here. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and I hope I see you next time. Bye. If you like this video, you can let me know by hitting thumbs up. You can check out some of my other videos by clicking one of the links on the screen. I post new videos every week, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified every time I upload. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next video.